Hello. You guys, I just made, take these slippers off. I just made the best flippin' coffee ever. I just used a different kind of protein powder and oh my gosh. So in here, I like the Javi, but I've been out of Javi. And then I just kind of started, you know how like when you run out of something and you're like, okay, I'll just try and use up like I have so much protein powder that I'm like, okay, I'll just go to like making my own so I can use up the protein powder. And so that's kind of the state I'm in. I've kind of been making my own protein coffees. It's more steps than like the Javi. The Javi is so easy because you can just like literally throw the scoop in milk and you have your coffee made. But I've basically been making like my own Javi, if that makes sense. So all I do is take some milk and then I add a scoop of protein powder. And this today, I had a little packet of the coconut cream from Clean Simple Eats. And I put that in there. So then you basically have protein milk. And then I add in, and then I do some water. And then I do a scoop of coffee powder. So I have like Nespresso, or I also have the, oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? The mushroom coffee that I use. Oh my gosh, I literally just used it yesterday. The black bag, the mushroom coffee. Why am I not thinking of it? Oh, everyday dose. There we go. Like, wow. So I'll do that, or like I have an espresso powder and I'll just add that in there. And then I do either like a dash of Chobani creamer or like a splash of maple syrup and mix it up. And that's what we have here. But the coconut cream, oh, it is like so good. It was like very tempting to order some of that coconut cream protein powder, but I'm like, no, I've got to use the protein powder I have. But that was a nice little treat. Okay, anyway, you probably don't care about my coffee. Today, we're going to do like a Q&A. I asked on my Instagram stories, just like ask me questions that I can answer on my podcast. And you guys asked so many questions, so many good questions. I can't get through them all. I always appreciate everyone like asking questions. So I went through and I wrote down like 15 of them. I figured that would probably take about the amount of time we need, just kind of all different topics. And we're going to go through them. So let's get right into it. What is your favorite hobby? Photography, like not even joking, taking photos. It is so much fun. Yes, it's like technically my job now, but I consider it a hobby. I truly just love doing it. And it's so much fun and I enjoy it so much. So photography, I don't really have a favorite. Sorry, I have 3. Piano playing has become like a new hobby of mine where I just do it kind of like a few times a week. I really enjoy it and it's been really fun and challenging. And then my 3rd is horseback riding. That has been my top hobby for, if I had to pick like a hobby that I've done the longest and that I still find like one of my favorite hobbies, and it's always been a hobby of mine since I was a little girl, it would be horseback riding. I don't do it as much now as I would like to. Just mom of young kids, it can be hard, but I know that when my kids are older, that is a hobby that I will definitely pick up and do a lot more again. You know, I'll probably get back into barrel racing and everything like that. It's just, I've had to accept that in this season, it's a time where I might not be able to do that hobby as much, and I'm okay with that. I know that this season is short, and my priorities in this season are where they need to be, but in the future, barrel racing and horseback riding and everything like that, my horse life will become top of the priority list again when my kids are a little bit older and I have a little bit more free time. So I love that question though. Have you ever taken classes for photography? No, I have. Well, technically no. Listen, you guys, if there is one thing that I take pride in, that I'm just simply proud of, I would call it like a flex of mine, is that if I want to figure something out, I will dissect, I will research, and I will find a way. And so with photography, I knew that I wanted to get into it, and I knew that like I had to figure out a lot. There's just like I'm still learning from camera settings to editing to the main thing, figuring out your camera and your lenses and all the behind or like the settings in your camera and all that kind of stuff. I watch reels of photographers. I YouTube, you guys, YouTube is free. And YouTube has about any information that you need to learn on it. And so I YouTube so much. I watch hours and hours and hours of videos. If I can't figure a setting out on my camera, or if I don't know what it means, I will Google it, I will YouTube it, and I will learn. If I can't figure something out, I will go find it on the web, and I will learn and listen and absorb. And so, and then also, you can do as much of that as you possibly can, but the real getting better is going to come from actually taking photos. Like I've gotten better in just 10 months, I feel like, since I very first started shooting people. Like I've come a long way. And it also excites me because I know that I'm not at my best performance yet. Am I in my best like now? Yes. But like I am so excited to see where I'm at in 5 years as a photographer after I have 5 years under my belt and not just 10. And so I think just, shooting and learning, and I'm eager to figure it out, right? And I put time and effort into it. And so I haven't taken classes. No, I did consider buying like a newborn course, but quite honestly, like I've just been watching YouTube reels. There's photographers out there who will do like educational videos, and I will watch those, and I will, go on YouTube and search like newborn photography tips, and you would be amazed. I'm such a visual learner that I think that that's why it's so successful for me, is because if I can watch someone do it, then I can go and like put it into action, if that makes sense. So yes and no. I don't know if you'd call them classes, but technically watching people and just learning and absorbing. Yes, lots of that. Okay, moving on. Do you miss Shakeology? Yes and no. Like I love Shakeology. It definitely aided in my results and where I am. But also like I've also found I feel like when I was in Body, when you are a part of a company and you're committed to them and you believe in them, like you use them, right? And so I really wasn't ever interested in trying another protein powder when I was using Shakeology, because number one, I loved Shakeology. I believed in it. I wanted to support the company that I was partnering with. And I truly, truly loved it. Like I was using it every day for my results. And so I didn't have interest in ever trying another protein powder. I didn't have a desire to, and I didn't have a reason to. Now that I'm like, I don't really want to give Body my money, it has allowed me to kind of go out and try other protein powders. I've tried some, I've hated some, I've loved some, I've liked some. And so, yeah, right now I'm really liking Clean Simple Eats. I just got a bag of Pro Mix. And I'm liking it so far. So yeah, I do miss Shakeology, but also like if I'm missing like a smoothie, I feel like I can still kind of get that, craving, I guess. So hopefully that answers your question. Like if I truly missed it so much, I could go back to it. But again, like that's a whole nother spiel. I also kind of go in spurts with smoothies. Sometimes I want them like all the time, and especially in the summer, I want something cold and camping. I love smoothies, chocolate smoothies for camping. But like in the winter, I would rather have like a plate of food, if that makes sense, or I'd rather have a protein coffee. And I don't really like putting chocolate. And that was the only kind of Shakeology I really, really, really liked. I was a chocolate girl. And so, yeah. Anyway. This question. How bad was childbirth? If I'm being 100% honest with you guys, my birth experiences were great, like fantastic. I honestly would say birth was probably one of the easiest parts of pregnancy for me. Again, I'm blessed. I know that's not the case with everyone. and I got the epidural. So that's why. Labor was a different story. With both of my pregnancies, I said, I am going to, like, I'm open to the epidural, but I guess the second time's a little different because you kind of know what it's like, but then again, you don't because they were completely opposite. But going in with Creed, my first one, I was like, I am open to the epidural, but I'm going to see how long I can go without it because you just don't know. You don't know what birth pain feels like until you actually experience it. So I was like, maybe it's not like going to be as bad as I think, or maybe it's going to be even worse. Like I'm open to the epidural, but I'm going to go as long as I think I can, until then. So I labored I started at midnight having small contractions. They weren't very painful. They kind of picked up around I would say 2, 3 a.m. is when they got intense and I had to breathe through them. And I had Creed it was 12:30 p.m. So I got my epidural around, I think it was 6 a.m. So I labored for about 4-ish hours with no epidural, having intense contractions. And that was intense. That was painful. Clearly it got to a point where I didn't want to feel it anymore because I eventually asked for the epidural. Once the epidural was in, I didn't feel nothing down there, if that's what you're concerned about. Because I think this question said something about I'm due soon or something like that. As far as down there, I didn't feel nothing down there. So that's what I was most scared of. And I didn't feel anything. So with Capri, I had back labor. And I always heard people talk about back labor, and I didn't quite understand it. But let me tell you something. Back labor is a whole different kind of labor pain. I would take Creed's labor over Capri's labor any day. Back labor is I don't even know how to explain it to you. It was so much more painful. I don't know if it was the way she was positioned or what, but holy dear God, it's all of the pain in your lower back. And yeah, it was intense. And it was kind of the same situation with Capri. We went in at 7 p.m. I was supposed to get induced with Pitocin, but the first steps are they put something up your hoo-ha to induce labor. So they want to do 2 rounds of that before they start Pitocin. And they did 1 of those and I was into labor. I didn't need Pitocin. I didn't need the second pill up there. And so I think I labored for, it was kind of the same. I feel like I labored for probably 4 or 5 hours with no epidural, and then it just got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. And it was kind of the same. I didn't feel anything down there. My recovery was pretty good. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I feel like birth in itself, pushing the baby out, was easier than I expected, but labor was harder than I expected, if that makes sense. I kind of thought, I have a high pain tolerance. I bet I can labor without an epidural. No, I just got so exhausted. I couldn't do it anymore. Now, I will say, if we would ever have a third kid, I'm still, I want to push even harder to try not getting the epidural. I don't know. I just obviously, I don't like knowing that stuff is going in you and you're I'd like to do a natural, but then again, I don't know. I've had such great birth experiences with the epidural. Who knows? We'll see. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I need to add more protein to my diet. I don't like protein shakes. Any ideas? Yes. I eat lots of cottage cheese. I eat lots of Greek yogurt. Bowls. I'll take cottage cheese and Greek yogurt and I'll put fruit and granola and honey and peanut butter, and it's so good. My kids eat it. They love it. Creed asks for one all the time. He asked for one yesterday. He's like, Mom, can you make me a yogurt bowl? So that's a really easy way because Greek yogurt and cottage cheese are great sources of protein. Eggs, if you're an egg person, I like the Costco egg bites. Those are great sources of protein in the morning for breakfast. Let me think here. I mean, obviously like chicken, ground turkey, ground beef, those are all sources of protein. Salmon, incorporating like meals with salmon, rice, veggie, chicken, rice, veggie. Um, Tuna is a great source of protein. It's super good for us. So if you could take like a good tuna salad and put it on like a croissant, you're still getting a great source of protein plus some carbohydrates for energy and filling. So that meal is going to keep you very full for a long time. Let me think here. What are other sources of protein that I love? I kind of have my staples, if that makes sense. Boiled eggs is another one. I don't know if you like boiled eggs, but like doing boiled eggs and cutting them up and putting them on a salad, or making egg salad, or just doing boiled eggs with like salt and pepper and eat them like that. Um, my main staples though, I mean, I have meat in almost every meal, like as far as lunch and dinner. Like my factor meals always have chicken. Most of them have chicken. And then like our dinners usually have ground beef. And so yeah, I like incorporating salmon. So I would say like my main staples though are like the cottage cheese and the Greek yogurt and the meats in my meals. So, but truly, like, honestly, you can go to Chat GPT and you can type in that exact question. Like, I want to have protein at every meal, or I need more breakfast options with protein that isn't protein shakes. Can you give me some ideas? And it will give you a book. So don't be afraid to use Chat GPT. Do you miss body? I miss the people. Like, it's so sad. I honestly can't think about it, but like, it's really hard knowing that some of my friends that I was so close to and I took several trips with, spend weekends with in Arizona, like truly, like some of my best friends from afar, it's really hard to know that some of them I may never see again. Like, and that's just the hard truth. Like, yeah, we could probably align, getting together, and we can do that, but some reality is like some of those people on those trips that, I mean, because there's lots of them, people that when you went on a trip, you would hang out with for a week or you would hang out with for a weekend, and I'll never see them in person again. That's like really sad to me and it breaks my heart. So that concept, knowing that like the people in the groups that we were a part of and the fun we would have together and the memories that we've made, just knowing that that's done, it's really, really hard. And that's the part that I can't really think about a lot because it really depresses me and makes me sad. As far as the business of body, no, I do not miss it. When Capri went through her thing, and it's like the whole timing is crazy how we were like, body got rid of us at the same time that I was in the hospital with Capri, and I didn't care about anything else in life besides my daughter and my family and our health. That was a huge wake up call for me. And I was actually talking to my photography client the other day. We were like chit chatting while I was taking her pictures, and I told her, I was like, it's funny because sometimes people will say like, I feel like you really like handled the whole body situation really well. Like it was ripped out of underneath you and you didn't really, I just feel like you can't. And I'm like, I am so at peace with like in my faith and just knowing that God has a plan, and like I can't do anything about it. So I just need to really pray to him that he's going to open my eyes and see where he's directing me next, and have confidence in that and just know that it's meant to be. And so a lot of that, but then also like it was a huge shift with Capri's situation where I realized that I loved body in the season that it was, right? When I didn't have kids and I could get on teen calls. I could commit, like body was basically my child. I could get on teen calls, evenings. I could get on calls. I could do one-on-one calls. I could check in with people all day long and all that kind of stuff. I could do, I could get on Zoom and do all that. And I could be on my computer and checking in with people and answering emails and all that kind of stuff. And it took so much of my day. There's so much behind the scenes of being a body leader that people, that like isn't really shared or that people don't really know until like you're in it, I feel like. But that I don't miss. I love the time now that I have with my kids and in the evenings. I don't miss the pressure. There was a lot of pressure when you have a team underneath of you for their success. Like if someone wasn't hitting Success Club or if someone wasn't, growing their business, it felt like a huge weight on your shoulders because you didn't know if it was you as a leader. And so there was just so much, like I lost so much sleep and I didn't realize it until like it was taken away from me, the weight that it put on my shoulders. And so, yeah. I miss the people, I miss the trips, I miss the memories, I miss the connections. But I really miss like when clients would sign up and do a program and then they would message me and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm the happiest I've ever been. Oh my gosh, I have never been this consistent. Oh my gosh, this is changing my life. Like the success stories were incredible and I loved hearing those. But like as far as the business part of stuff, I don't miss that. And I kind of talked about that in another podcast. Like I'll never go back to like having the weight of carrying a team on my shoulders again. Cause it was great while I did it, but it also like I'm in a different season of life where it doesn't align, if that makes sense. Okay. How do you find... Oh, this one made me laugh when I was writing it down. How do you find so much time for yourself with 2 young kids? The reason it made me laugh is because I don't feel like I have any time for myself. But I can see where like from an outsider looking in, like, and I think by this question, this person maybe means like to work out and to do my facial routine. And do you want to get on the podcast? Tyson just peeped down. And I think that that's what they mean is like those little things. And here's the thing. I don't think I show this enough, but usually my kids are a part of that. When I'm working out, my kids are either running around out here and my gym's right there, or they're beside me, or I do a big nap time hustle. Like when Capri is sleeping during the day, she still takes 2 naps a day. Probably like an hour in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. And so that's 3 hours that I have by myself. So I have to choose, like, do I want to work out? Do I want to, do something for myself? Do I need to get caught up on work? Like whatever that is. But you guys, I do so much with Capri on like next to me, like so much. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think the last time I didn't have Capri in my possession, well, I was working. I was doing a photography photo shoot. And like, I truly always have at least Capri with me at all times. And so I just find a way to still do these things for me and take care of me with her there. And honestly, it's probably a blessing. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, I just want a mom relief. You know what I mean? But I just hope, and I think there's a reason for this, that like, God makes it this way, is that she just learns all of this. She's soaking it up. She's watching her mom still take care of herself and put herself first and be productive and chase goals while having her there. Because if she wasn't there, she wouldn't be able to watch it. And so I just hope that maybe I am influencing her whole life to do the things that I do, to show up, to be productive, to, chase ideas, chase goals, and be busy, and, just be that way. Right. And so, yeah. Again, I hope that answers that question. I think just a lot of people think that when I do these things for myself, that I'm by myself, and I'm usually not. I usually have, like I said, at least Capri with me. So yeah. Hopefully also that inspires you if you've been waiting for a time to be alone or to have time for yourself to do these things, that the reality is that's not usually how it happens for me. I just have to do it with them there and with them watching me and by my side. And, sometimes that you have to adapt. My workout sometimes has to be cut short if Capri like all of a sudden is over it, or if she needs to be put down for a nap, I have to pause my workout and come back to it. Or, if I need, like when I edit photos, for example, like a lot of times you guys probably think that I'm sitting at my computer because I take a picture of myself at my photo editing photos, or taking a picture at my computer editing photos. And a lot of you probably think like I'm sitting there having my coffee editing photos, but Capri and creator running around in the living room right here while I'm at my computer right there. You know what I mean? So a lot of times my kids are in the background of whatever I'm doing that you probably think that I am having time to myself. So anyway, it's the season. Again, it's a season of life where they are there. It's mom is like my main priority right now. I have to be present for them. They're young. And so I think when I realized that, when I really, really became aware of seasons of life and accepting seasons of life, your whole perspective on everything will change, and it just makes you soak up those seasons in a different way, knowing that it's not forever and it's going to change, and the things that maybe your heart desires right now that it can't have, you will have that in the future because this season isn't going to last forever. Okay. What is it? Oh, I love this question. What is a dream that became a reality? And when I was thinking about this, I'm like, gosh, I feel like I have several, you guys, and like, what a blessing. What a flippin' blessing of these dreams that became a reality. But I mean, my first one is my husband. I don't think I've ever like shared our whole story. Maybe I have. But like when I tell you that my heart longed for that man when I was in 6th grade and it never stopped, like I always had a dream, and I always remember saying like the woman that ends up with him is just so lucky. And I never, ever, ever thought that I would ever be the person that he chose to marry. I never thought I was good enough. He deserves so much better. He like all of that. He was older than me, and he just had like, I truly felt like he could pick anyone he wanted to, you know, and he could have anything he wanted. And when he like, still some days I'm like, am I actually married to Tyson? Like, so that is like my biggest dream that became a reality. Secondly is I always wanted to live the life where we have like an acreage and my kids can kind of have that country life feel and have animals and grow up the way I grew up. And that's playing in dirt. That is using their hands. That is being outside. That is like running in the backyard, you know, having animals that they can take care of and enjoy. And that was like my dream, and I'm living it. And I absolutely am so grateful for I think I seriously have this prayer every day. I pray and I thank God every day for just where he's put me, where I love our house. I love our acreage. I love our animals. I love the life that I'm living. I have my dream husband. I have 2 beautiful children. I'm living exactly where I want to be living and the surroundings that I have. And I really, really, really am so grateful. And I truly feel like I am living my, you know, dream of the way I wanted my life to be at this age. And I'm just so blessed. And so, yeah, I guess that would be like, probably my main ones. And I also like really, really, really wanted to have a job that I loved. And although I've had several different jobs along the line, at that time, I always loved my job. When I did hair, I loved doing hair. I was so happy. And then when my season shifted and I was brought a new opportunity and social media became my main thing and body, I absolutely loved what I did in that moment. And then, you know, when that was moved and a new season came along and I was pivoted, I'm doing photography and social media right now, and I absolutely love my life and my jobs and my income and what I'm doing. And I think that that's very important too, is just knowing like I've had to pivot a lot. I've had different opportunities come up. If you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd go from, you know, hair to social media to health and fitness influencer and body to photography, I would have been like, what? Like, what in the world? But because, you know, going into it, I thought I was doing hair till I was 60 years old. But it's just crazy. It's really, really crazy how God pivots you and takes you down different paths. But every season has counted, and every season has brought me to where I'm supposed to be right now. And yeah, I enjoy it. I truly just enjoy trying to listen to God and let him direct me of where I'm supposed to be at the right time. So yeah. What is your dream vacation? So I don't know if this is like a dream vacation, but I think I mentioned we're going like on a long RV trip for 2 weeks. And I think it is going to be, it is like, it's one of my dreams. Like I've always said, I wanted to take our camper and I wanted to do like a long road trip with the kids. Any dream vacation for me includes our kids now. Like I don't like being away from them. It gives me anxiety. And so I can enjoy myself more when I have my people with me, which is my husband and my kids. And so my dream vacation would be like what we're going to do. It's going to be, we're all going to be together. We're going to road trip. We're going to make memories. We're going to see so many different places. It's all going to be a new experience for everyone. We're going to end up at the ocean, which is like a dream of mine, is to have all of my family at the ocean. And so, yeah, that's going to be great. But I will say this, Tyson and I always say that like before we die, us and the kids are going to go back to Italy, because when we went to Italy, we talked like that was a trip that we will absolutely always say is our number one trip. It was incredible. We miss Italy so much. We loved Italy so much. And as much as I hate flying, I think in a few years or several years or whatever, maybe it's our 20th wedding anniversary, we want to go back to Italy again. And also Capri was named after Capri, Italy, because we went to Capri and it was the most beautiful place we've ever seen. And that's where we got her name idea. And so I'd love to take her to Capri. I know they say Capri, it's Capri, Italy, but we put the Midwest in it and we say Capri. So yeah, Italy would be like the big one, is taking my family to Italy, back to Italy. But then our little road trip vacation is kind of our dream one, and we're excited to do that. This one, what is your death row meal? I had to think about this. I really did, because there's not like one food that I absolutely would die for. Like I'm kind of a foodie and I like a lot of foods. And then also I'm like, I can't say sweet potato taco bowl because people would be like, are you kidding me? But truly that bowl makes me so happy. But I thought about it. I'm like, okay, if I had to pick like my last table of food, I would probably get crab cakes for an appetizer. I love me some good crab cakes. And then some chips and queso, because you can never go wrong with chips and queso. And then I would either do a sushi roll, but it has to be the specific one. It's like a crunchy roll with crab meat in it. I would do that, or a salmon Wellington. I had a salmon Wellington at a nice restaurant that we went to several months ago, and it was so good. So good. So that, and then always end with a dessert. I don't care. Any kind of chocolate, like a brownie lava cake with ice cream, or like a cookie skillet, or like some kind of sundae with brownie and chocolate and nuts and whipped cream and ice cream, like anything like that. So that would probably be my death row meal. Are you done doing hair? Would you do it at the studio? I'm done doing hair. I truly do not think I'll ever go back to doing hair. I mean, I loved it. I love the 6 years that I did, but I don't really have a desire to go back to it. I don't want to be tied to like a schedule again where like I have an appointment. I mean, I kind of am with photography, I guess, but it's just different. And also, you're busiest doing hair in the evenings on the weekends, because that's when people don't have to work. And that's not my life. I don't, weekends and evenings are now like where I want to spend time with my family. And I mean, in a few years, we'll be busy with basketball and sports for the kids and baseball and everything like that. So it just doesn't like sit with me anymore. Like it doesn't interest me, if that makes sense. So no, I'm not going to do it in the back of the studio. I'm not going to do hair. Again, I'm done doing hair. That answers your question. How did you get into photography? So I kind of like talked about this, but I don't really know. Like, again, this is like such a huge God pull where I was in the hospital with Capri, and one day I was sitting there and it was just her and I, and it was Black Friday actually. And I told my husband, I told Tyson, mind you, at this point, I'm like, okay, well, body's done. Like, what the heck am I going to do? And I had this huge pull to buy a camera and start taking photos. And so I went on Black Friday and I bought my expensive camera, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just start taking pictures of people and see where it goes. I have no idea where that came from. I mean, I do and I don't, because I think people are just so shocked because I never really talked about photography up until this point or like mentioned that it was a huge passion of mine, but my parents like gifted me a nice Canon in high school because I really enjoyed doing photos. I took like my brother's senior pictures. I took like my cousin's photos, like his 4-year-old pictures. And so I'd always loved photography. It's just something I never really pursued to a point of like making it a job. And so it's always been like a fun thing for me to do. And then obviously, like, I just got busy with life and every like other opportunities that it just kind of got put on the back burner and I never did it. And then there again, like, there was just a big pull to bring that back and start doing that again when like this past, I think it was kind of like this past summer. And so I just listened to it. I was like, you know what? It sounds fun. I'm going to invest in a camera and see where it goes. And it just kept like the next thing fell into the other and the next. And that's when I know that this is a God thing, like that God's saying, yes, I want you to, because, you know, it's hard. What is a serenity prayer? Like, God grant me the things to basically like, what am I supposed to do and what am I not supposed to do? And so it's sometimes hard. It's like, am I having this idea because it's just my idea, or is this like the next place God wants me to be? Is this God, or is this like not something he wants me to do? And so when something falls into place and everything starts to work out and it just like smoothly transitions you into where you're supposed to be, that's when I'm like, okay, this is God. This is God. And I'm confident that this is what he wants me to be doing. And that's like how I feel with this photography business right now. And just like the way the whole studio came about and like the way clients, like I've just had more business than I ever thought I would have. And people are happy, you know, like I truly feel like I am supposed to be doing this. And so, yeah, I don't know if that answers the question, but I basically just listened to the tug to buy a camera and start doing it. And I did. And I started taking photos and getting on YouTube and learning, and I just never stopped. I was like, I've got to figure this out. And I just became passionate about it. I became very passionate about watching other photographers and looking at their work and, you know, how they were doing this, and YouTube and equipment and settings. And yeah, I just filled myself up with it. And here we are. So, oh, what did you think of the Super Bowl halftime show? Guys, I don't give two craps, okay? And I'm going to go on a little rant for a second, okay? I'm so sick of everything on the internet these days being a flippin' argument, a flippin' debate, like everything is made into something. Like, I don't give two craps. Like, we had the game on, it was playing. I was kind of watching it a little bit. I also had 2 kids running around. I was also doing some other stuff on my phone. I was also cleaning up my house and eating food. Like, I'm not overthinking it, okay? And I know some people ask me that, and maybe not this question, but people want to know, what did you think? What did you think of the halftime show? Because they want to judge you. They want to try, and if you say you loved it, then you're wrong because you supported this person. If you say you hated it, then you're wrong because you didn't support this person. And your views and your political and this and that and blah, 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 blah. I'm so effing sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Like, I don't care. I'm so sick of people overthinking crap, and I'm so sick of people jumping to conclusions. I'm so sick of people pointing fingers, and I'm so sick of people arguing, and I'm so sick of the world being divided, and I'm so sick of all the negativity, and I'm so sick of all the drama on social media that I'm ready to get a flip phone and say goodbye to social media. That's where I'm at right now. Like, oh my God, if people would just put half as much time into the Bible and their Bible study as they would drama on social media and their opinions on social media, imagine where the world would be. Rant over. I know that question was not anything, but that's truly, I just had to tell you how I feel, because that's truly how I feel lately. I'm so sick of society. I'm so sick of social media. I'm so sick of negativity. I'm so sick of it. Like everything. everything. There's going to be something new tomorrow that's on the media that people are debating about, that's dividing people, that's making people argue, that's making, like, I'm so sick of it. I just want to be a mom, and I want to be in my house loving on my children, and I want to have good friendships, and I want to be happy, and I want to not be a part of the gross stuff on social media that is 90% of it right now. Okay, I'll be done. What would 2020 Haley say to 2026 Haley? This is the last question, because I thought this was a good one to end on. Not the last one. I don't want to end like that. What would 2020 Haley say to 2026 Haley? And I love this question. You guys, sometimes it mind blows me how much that I've changed as a person in 8 years, 10 years. My views on things have changed. My likes have changed. The things that make me happy have changed. I've matured. I've grown. I'm not even close to the same person I was 6, 8, 10 years ago. And so what I think I would tell 2020 Haley is that, or, Haley 10 years ago, is that I would tell her, this is a good question. I don't know what I would tell her. I just want her to know that she is going to change. And what she probably maybe stresses about now, or what makes her happy right now, it's not everything, because you're going to change as a person. And I kind of wish that I could tell 2020 Haley, like, the things that make me happy now. And I don't know. Here's an example. Okay. In 2020, all I cared about was if something was 0 calorie or low calorie. All I cared about was the number on the scale. And all I cared about was my follower count and being validated on the internet. And yeah, now, I think 0 calorie stuff is the worst stuff for you. I don't give 2 rats about how much I weigh, because all I care about is if I feel strong and healthy. And my perspective on health has changed so much. All I care about is ingredients versus calories. And I'm such a label reader on the back instead of the front, which is the complete opposite of what I was in 2020. I don't know. It's crazy how much you can change in such a short amount of time and become honestly a truly different person. But I feel very good at where I'm at. I like the person that I've grown into and becoming. I mean, that sounds cliche, but truly, I don't know. The world is kind of hard right now, I feel like, and it's hard to sometimes feel like maybe you're against the majority, or that you're fighting against the people controlling the world, if that makes sense. And I just feel really proud of putting effort into maybe going against the way they want us to be. And that's very vague, but health has become such a huge passion of mine. And homesteading, I never ever thought that the word homesteading would be something that is passionate, makes me passionate. And that kind of lifestyle is something that I want to continue to pursue more and more and more. But I'm really, really happy with it. I feel very good about it. And I really, really, really want my kids to grow up knowing what homesteading is. Because my grandma and my grandpa, they're who I think about when I think about homesteading. They had a farm and they milked their cows, and my grandma made fresh bread all the time, and she cooked she had 12 children, and they lived, it's just I want to keep that in our world, and we're getting so close to people not even knowing what that is. But I truly think that like that's where kind of humanity has gone wrong. Like we've become so far from like church and God and raising our food and growing our food and working, labor. And you know what? I don't know if that makes sense, but like I would do anything to go back to like when my dad was a kid, if that makes sense. And the way he grew up, or like even like I don't want to go way, 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 way back, but like to my grandma's time, to the times where like that was, your main sources of food were you grew it or you milked it or you made it, And I just think that that life is so inspiring. And I think that that really, really like also impacted the way people were. I think that, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. But anyway, that kind of got off derailed. But yeah, I would just say like I would tell her that she's going to change into a person that she's not even close to right now, but to embrace it and to continue. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's a really hard question. I should have thought about that one more because I don't even know how to answer that one. And I'm sure I'll think of it later as I'm thinking about this podcast. But anyway, we're going to wrap it up. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for the questions. I love this kind of podcast where I can answer your guys' questions and chit chat about them and blab about them. So thank you so much for asking them. And we'll catch you next week. Bye, guys.